Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are doing another hair oiling series, and today's topic is going to be about being vulnerable in relationships. So let's get started. The reason I want to make this video is because I find that for a lot of us who have gone through a lot of traumatic relationships that have really just shaken us up, sometimes it's really difficult to trust our partner when we get into a healthy relationship. And you can do all the healing you want when you're, let's say, post breakup and you're in your healing journey and you're learning how to love yourself, you're learning the mistakes you've made, you're learning about the mistakes that you let the other person get away with, and whatever it may be. But ultimately, sometimes we're not able to fully surrender or see how we're going to react in a situation until we're in that situation. We look at ourselves and we're like, you know what? If I'm in a relationship, it's going to be so good, and I'm going to be the best partner, and I'm going to find the best person for me, and it's all going to be sunshines and rainbows. And from experience, that is not true. What I've learned is that no matter how much work I did on myself for like 4 years, thinking that I was going to be a great partner and everything that I learned I'll be able to implement and I'll just be a marvelous partner and I'm going to find the perfect person and it's going to be just amazing, it really was not. In relationships, you have to trust one another, and that trust has to be built. And if your partner has not done anything to break that trust, especially if they haven't done anything to break it, and sometimes it's not even about breaking trust. Sometimes there's miscommunication. Please don't get that confused with breaking trust. You really have to surrender and put your walls down and let that person in, because at the end of the day, you're trying to build a foundation. You are trying to build a partnership. And the last thing you want is to harm that and self-sabotage that by putting your fears and your past trauma, whether it's from relationships or family trauma, whatever you've been through as a child, in high school, whatever it is, you have to understand that you cannot put that on the other person. And I feel like when you're in a healthy relationship, I feel like an understanding partner will put up with a certain amount because they understand your pain and they will work with you to work through that. But it's also not fair for that person to constantly go through something. Let's say there's certain situations where I would be telling the truth. My ex-partner would always doubt me, and I would hate it so much. And I was like, why do you not trust me? Why do you not trust me? This is exhausting. And then I realized I was doing that exact same thing to my partner. And he was like, hey, what's going on here? I feel like I cannot connect with you. And every time I say something, you're just doubting me, and it feels horrible. And I felt like, you know what, I'm protecting myself. I have this shield. I have to analyze every little thing that's been said to me. I have to analyze every little interaction and anything that goes on in the relationship, and I have to put it under a scope and question it. The first thing I would ever do is question it, instead of being like, hey, you know what, yes, I trust you. You also cannot build a relationship without trusting someone. That's not how it works, because ultimately, if you think about it, as kids, we trust our parents to keep us safe, or whoever it was in your life who kept you safe. You trusted that person to keep you safe. And if they did not misuse that trust or break that trust, you know how comfortable you felt. You know that you could be yourself, and that relationship built up from that. And that's the same thing with your siblings and your cousins and aunts and uncles, whatever situation it is, or even your best friends, whoever you have in your life that you really trust. Think about that relationship and ask yourself, okay, let's say it's a friend. If I really didn't trust Casey, what would my relationship with Casey be like? That relationship really wouldn't be a intimate, honorable friendship and respectful friendship if you didn't really trust that person. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is you can do all the work you want to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you've worked through it all. Things will come up in your relationship, and it's okay to be vulnerable and let your walls down in order to trust that person and be wholeheartedly yourself and see where that relationship can go and what it can flourish into. The odd thing about trust is that you have to trust someone, but you also cannot let it break you if that person breaks your trust. So yes, in my relationship, I have learned to trust and kind of work through the trauma and be like, okay, I do trust this person. This person has not given me a reason to not trust them, but a little bit in the back of my head, like, hey, you know what? Like, if it does happen, there is a possibility, and I have to be okay with that. Not manifesting it, like thinking about it all the time, like what's going to happen? How is it going to happen? How am I going to feel? Once you start embodying the feeling of what it's going to feel like when that person breaks your trust, that is that's manifestation. Like, if you're truly feeling the emotions in your heart and you get riled up and you start thinking about it every day, you're going to manifest that. So please don't do that. Think good and positive thoughts all the time, but also understand that we are all human. And I feel like we as humans, like when we from experience, when you truly trust someone and you think they're never going to do anything to hurt you, and when it happens and you just did not think it was going to happen, you kind of like go hit rock bottom. And I don't want that for you guys. So yes, if that ever does occur, just like have it in the back of your head, like, okay, like I am going to be okay. If it does happen, it happens, and I'm okay with that outcome. But I hope this helped you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.